They say when you meet your love of your life, the person you're going to be with for the rest of your life, things take a turn for the better. And for Beth, that was about 15 years ago when she met me. So, sorry, Brian. I'm not actually sorry. Just a heads up. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Kate. I am Beth's matron of honor and forever alibi. First off, I just want to start off with, I think that it is very apparent that Beth and Ryan have this ability to make connections and form very strong bonds with people. And I think that is very apparent from the turnout tonight and everyone who has come to celebrate them. So cheers for that. Absolutely. My friendship with Beth has spanned across a very long time, from middle school to high school to becoming whole ass adults to, just growing into ourselves and stuff. And I think that is very insane. And now I finally get to welcome her into marriage, which is very cool for me to do. I won't spoil it for you. Not a lot changes. Except for now it's very expensive for you guys to break up. So I really hope you read the terms and conditions before you signed everything. So hope that's all good. No, but for real, it's insane to me that I get to experience these with Beth alongside. I met Beth back in middle school. It's been a very crazy ride with, school projects, sleepovers, graduation, and up until now, music festivals, everything like that. It's been an absolute bliss, and I couldn't ask for anyone better to share that with, and I'm so thankful that I've gotten all this time with you. Our friendship has never had a dull moment, and I'm very incredibly grateful for that. There's not a moment that I'm bored, or we're always going on adventures or something like that, and that's absolutely amazing for me. Beth has always been one of the kindest, most supportive friends I've ever had. Not only is she stunning, have you guys seen her today? She looks beautiful. Yes, thank you. Give it up for her, because she looks absolutely insane. But she is an incredible dog mom and an awesome wine tasting partner. And honestly, if anyone's down for adventure, it's her. Beth, I want to thank you for the countless memories and girlhood and sleepovers and drunk Snapchats and everything that we've been through together, and there's absolutely no one I would rather steal traffic cones with. You are the only one I will ever do that with. Sorry, guys. Now, Ryan, I've had the pleasure of knowing Ryan for 7 long, exhausting years. It's been a fun ride. We met when a bunch of mutual friends went to a music festival in Eugene, and I have a conspiracy theory that ever since that day, Ryan has made it his mission to push my buttons, and he has succeeded very well in doing so, but he has never ceased to make me laugh or smile when he does that. If I were to describe Ryan, it would be in 3 ways. It would be as a bartender, a brother, and a father. He never fails to pour you a drink and listen to your problems. I feel like he's always getting yelled at for something. God knows what it is, but he's always getting yelled at for something. And he never fails to crack a dad joke when the time is right. And when it's not, too. Anytime he gets a chance. So, I don't know if you guys know the story of Ryan and Beth. But it was very cute. I'll kind of set the scene for you. It was kind of like seeing two golden retriever puppies meeting each other for the first time. It was very adorable and chaotic. It was a lot. But we were all out for a night in Portland, and Beth came up to me and she was like, oh my God, Ryan's like so cute. And you have to set us up together. And she was very discreet about it, very quiet. She pulled me aside, you know. And I wasn't going to tell her that Ryan heard every single word she just said, 100% guaranteed, matter of fact. No, I was going to take credit for that. So I did. And here they are. It was a very fun night, and I wouldn't trade any of it for anything. Seeing Beth and Ryan's relationship has been absolutely incredible. It has been insane to see them grow from day one to where they are now, and I couldn't be more proud of them. I couldn't be more excited that they are finally tying this knot and being here together. The endless support, comfort, happiness, and warmth that they give to each other is like watching a real life Hallmark movie. You know it's going to have a good ending, but this isn't a Hallmark movie. It doesn't end when the guy gets the girl and they live happily ever after. You know, your story starts now. Marriage is not the final product. It is something that you really have to work for. You know, you never stop learning about each other and caring about each other and supporting each other and getting each other through this thing that we call life. And I am so honored to be able to be by your side as your matron of honor and not only stand by Ryan as well. And I am so thankful that I have gotten to have this friendship and this beautiful experience with both of you. And I am just so fortunate that we have gotten to experience this together. And I am so excited to finally congratulate you two as being Mr. and Mrs. Ehrenfeld. Cheers to that, guys.
Cheers. Wonderfully said, wonderful done.
Is it on?
Yeah.
Yes. I hate mics, just so you know. So I started about a month ago thinking about what I was going to say. So when deciding to say about what I wanted to share with you all about Ryan, I had so many thoughts that I wanted to say, but I knew I couldn't take forever. So where do I start? When Ryan was born, he was such a sweet baby, and from the start had such a warm personality as he grew up. When Grandma Magnuson, my mom, told me when Tracy and I were disciplining Ryan, she said, quote, "You better be careful. He wants to please you so much. He would cry if we barely raised our voice." That didn't happen with you, Michael. With two brothers coming before his third birthday, Ryan had to learn right away to share and be kind to his brothers. Of course, as brothers do, they get into each other's rooms and play with their prized toys. When Ryan was 8 or 9, Michael had gotten to his room, and Ryan went crazy. He stated he hated his brother and was so upset. And so as moms do, I corrected him right away by telling him that he does not hate Michael, but he's just mad that he got in his stuff. And I told Ryan that whenever the chips are down and you need help, your brothers will be the first ones there to help you. As Ryan grew up, his brothers, Michael and Austin, became his best friends. They cared for each other, and they encouraged and supported each other. As a mom, I can tell anyone that Ryan is very giving, kind, and loyal. On July 21st in 2019, Ryan introduced us all to Beth. It was at his birthday celebration on the Willamette River, and I saw the look in his eyes, and I knew then she was going to be the one. Beth is the person for Ryan. She has that same caring and loving personality. Ryan and Beth both complement each other, and I know Ann, you and I have said that many times. They support each other in their hobbies and in their daily lives. With Beth just graduating with a 4.0, I might add, getting her master's degree in social work, I can see her first client was very inspired. Thank you, Beth, for encouraging him to go back getting his CPA degree. Ryan, you are my firstborn, and I love you so very much. I'm thankful you had a wonderful father in Tracy. He supported you with football, basketball, baseball, and soccer, coaching your many teams and supporting your well-rounded respect for being part of a team, and also thankful to your stepdad, Paul, for helping you acquire your job in finance at DHS for the state of Oregon. I supported you in every endeavor that you wanted to do, and you supported me in every technical assistance that I have needed in the past and still need today. Sorry. I am so happy to have Beth in our family. We all enjoy each other, and you have you've completed our family dynamic, well, by 2/3 anyway. We only have 1/3 to go. My last son to be married, Austin and Kayla, now engaged and planning their wedding to complete our family. As we sit here today, Labor Day weekend, which is also my number 2 son, Michael's, and his wife, Megan's, anniversary, Ryan and Beth's, sorry, I lost my place. And now today, 2 years later, on Ryan and Beth's wedding, this has forever changed how I think of Labor Day. It is a labor of love to a new beginning, and I love you both so very much. Thank you.
Oh, there we go. Just better. Well, I think I know many of you here. For those that I don't, I am George Merkel. I'm Beth's father. I want to thank everyone for coming and celebrating Beth and Ryan's love and commitment for each other. Definitely has been a perfect day to see all this wonderful stuff happen and just celebrate and enjoy each other's company. But I want to start by reading off a list of Ryan's outstanding qualities. Ryan is smart. Ryan is funny. Ryan is handsome. Ryan is kind. Ryan is, sorry, I can't read this word. Ryan, I asked you to print this list. I can't read your writing. Wait, you play the xylophone? Beth, did you know this? Well, I didn't need to read a list of Ryan's great qualities. I think all of us that know him know he's an outstanding guy with lots of qualities, and Beth told me 3 to 5 minutes for my part of the speech, so I can't read any more on the list. But I do want to share the first time that Joanne and I met Ryan. I remember Beth spoke very highly of him, brought him to the house, and he came through the front door and gave me a firm handshake, and he was polite and friendly, and he was very well spoken, and really just an all-around nice, friendly guy who just seemed like the perfect guy, the guy that every father would want his daughter to date. And after he left, Joanna asked me, she said, so what do you think? I said, he's just too perfect. I don't know if I trust him. And having known Ryan for several years, he's the real deal. He's all those wonderful qualities and so many more. And Ryan, I thank you for that. Beth, where have the 27 years gone? I don't even know. They flew by in a blink of an eye. I so remember when your mother and I went to the hospital the day you were born, looking out the window on the drive and seeing these beautiful yellow Scotch brooms. And to this day, when May rolls around and I see those beautiful yellow flowers, I always think it's time for Beth's birthday. It's always a sign for me that it's that time of year. Remember, several years after that, you got a little older. We had a nightly ritual where I would give you a horsey ride to your room at night during bedtime, and you had the sweetest little voice, and you'd say, "Daddy, I'm ready for my horsey ride." And I'd get on my fours, and you'd hop on my back, and I would take you to your room, and And then you'd hop off and you say, now, Daddy, I'm not ready for my stories, so I want you to leave the room and close the door and turn off the light, and I'll call you when I'm ready. So I said, okay. And a couple of minutes later, I would hear that sweet little voice, Daddy, I'm ready for my story. But remember, don't turn on the light. I said, okay. I'd come in, and what Beth didn't know at the time is that I knew that she needed that time with the door closed in the darkness to take these jacks and throw them all over the floor in this dark room. And I would step into that room and pretend to step on a jack, and I'd jump up and down and say, oh, my foot, oh my God, it hurts so bad. And Beth would laugh and laugh and laugh just like she is right now. Ryan, you better be careful for this one. I'm telling you now, I've warned you. But you know, it exemplified Beth's great sense of humor and her sign, or her mischievousness, which she may have gotten just a teeny bit of that from me. I remember quite a few years later when she went out for the dance team. She was so committed. She would come home from practices, hours and hours of practices, and I remember seeing her poor feet. They were so beat up. I thought, oh my gosh, how does she do it? And one of the things I loved is going to her competitions. And I know one of those years she had quite a few solos in the performance that she did. Whenever I'd go to these competitions, I would try to sit very close to the head judge, because he had a recorder and he would speak in there, and I'd be able to hear exactly what his comments and his thoughts were. And I remember in one particular competition, this judge said, look at the strength of that soloist. Look at the height of that jump. Look at the lines. Look at the grace. Look at the beauty. And I cried. I cried. I thought, that's my daughter. That's my Beth. I was incredibly proud. I remember a few years after that, Beth, you left for college, and I had myself convinced that after a few days you would call home and you'd be homesick and either want to come home or want me to come up there. And you had some rough patches with a roommate and some other things that didn't go perfectly well, but the call never came. You persevered, you pushed through it, and you made it work. And you know, that's when I realized what a strong, independent woman you are. You know, Beth and Ryan, I'm so incredibly proud of both of you, not because of all the achievements that you have, which both of you have many of those, but I've watched over the years just how incredibly supportive and loving you've been towards each other. I've watched especially when things have not gone well, when rough patches have come about, and you've been each other's strongest advocates. You've been there to support each other, to guide each other, to encourage each other, and to console each other when things didn't go well. And I've watched you also when you've had successes. You celebrate each other's successes even more than you celebrate your own. And I see the happiness and the joy that you see in each other succeed. And so tonight I want to propose a toast to both of you and your future. May you embrace every moment. May you laugh every day. And may you love beyond words.
No comment. Are you guys ready for the roast of Ryan Ehrenfeld? It's what you've all been waiting for.
Where's Rob Lowe?
Yeah. Okay, so for those of you who don't know me, I'm the middle child, the favorite number one child, I like to always say. All right, so sorry, I'm going to be improvising this as I read as well. So, I'm the middle child, Ryan is the oldest child, and then the youngest, the baby, Austin, who's also somehow the tallest, which pisses us off both ends, as Ryan can agree. No, but again, most of my time will be about Ryan and all our stories growing up together, and then, of course, Beth, when I first met you, so we'll just kind of get into it. But some funny things that Ryan has done. I mean, he's done a lot of funny things. He's blown up his hand. He's probably almost cut off his leg with a chainsaw. He's rolled a car. Ah, geez, the list goes on and on. Yeah. But I'm on a time frame as well, I've been told, so. Anywho, so one time we were with some friends, and this was pretty recent, actually, but he does dumb stuff all the time. But we were at a nice Italian restaurant, you know, with the free bread and the napkin on your lap. Gosh, it was a good time. Well, Ryan got a cocktail. He got an old-fashioned. I love old-fashions. And I got a Manhattan, okay? And, you know, I wanted to try the old-fashioned, and he wanted to try my Manhattan. So what did we do? Well, we're brothers, so you try mine, I try yours. Well, he tried to take a small sip, so he got it up there, and he took a little baby, and then started to cough all over and sneezed. I think it was a cough and a sneeze, I don't know, into the drink as I sat there with his drink, luckily better than my drink. So I kept that drink. Some of the people here were at that Italian restaurant, and I don't think they traded drinks with him after that. But he also, if you don't know him, he has a sneeze so loud it set off the car alarms out in the back. So Beth knows about that one. I'm sure most of us do. First time you hear it, oh my God. So Ryan he's done some questionable things throughout his life. So this was nothing out of the ordinary for this next story. In fact, one time around Christmas, our parents decided to leave boot tracks of Santa Claus. Boy, were Austin and I ecstatic. Santa in our house? And proof! Well, Ryan, being the weird one, he decided he would taste test the snow to check its authenticity. Smart one, they say, I know. Also to note, I don't think it even snowed that year. Austin, you have to correct me there, but... Now, to be fair, our mom always said, you know, try your food, do a taste test first. I don't think the boot, you know, whatever the boot print doesn't count as that, at least I don't think. Anyway, Ryan taste tested it and was able to confidently determine, I believe, that it was not snow and that it ended up being baking powder, I believe. Something along those lines. Yeah. Well, he doesn't bake, so who knows. So, Beth, just so you know, he is quite the detective, but also he will lick things off the ground, so do with what you will, that knowledge. So. Okay, this one's my longer story, but... So Ryan wasn't always the one with the bad ideas, I will say that. I had a few myself. Now, growing up, I enjoyed sneaking out of the house, as a lot of kids did. And we'd meet up with our friends and, you know, do whatever we did. But one time comes to mind because I had a friend over. So, you know, of course, we were going to sneak out. Well, my parents have caught me sneaking out probably a couple of times, and they were onto us, so they put duct tape on the back slider. So, you know, if the tape's gone, you're catching on. So anywho, Ryan not having a friend over, you know, I told him we were sneaking out, and he was like, I'll join you, but I would like to meet up with a friend. And I'm like, oh, sure, if he lives nearby. Well, he left, I don't know how, 5 miles away downhill, so... Of course, me being dumb, I agreed, and we went to go meet his friend 5 miles away. As soon as we got there, me and my friend were exhausted, but Ryan just met up with his, so we decided we're going to go home. Ryan stayed to stay with his friend. As soon as I opened that door, I heard some sleeping bear downstairs snoring on the couch. See now, lucky for me in a way, the friend lived far away. Unlucky for him, he fell asleep on the couch trying to catch us. So what do? Is I call my older brother going, dude, you need to get your ass home right now. Pretty sure he was running during that phone call. So he never ran as fast as probably ever because he got home so quick. But he, you know, creaked that door open, snuck past the sleeping giant, and got upstairs. Now, I was a devious little kid, so I thought of the perfect lie. We had a trampoline out back. And I told my friend, I'm like, oh, I got the perfect idea. We're going to put some blankets out. We're going to say we got cold on the trampoline. There's no way he's going to go out on the basketball court to check that. Like, we're good. It's solid. Little did I know my friend was going to just confess everything as soon as I lied to my dad that morning. We snuck out. Pretty sure that's how it went, and then I was getting yelled at that morning. Rightfully so. Anywho, so as I'm being yelled at, I distinctly remember Ryan walking downstairs, probably like, crap, I'm screwed. We made eye contact and shared a subtle nod. As he knew, I didn't dime him out. Because I wasn't angry at him that day, probably. So, just so you know, Ryan, you can't say I never did anything for you. Although, I am hoping by saying this, Dad and Mom know I'm not, you know, that I was innocent and I was led astray. And is he in trouble now? I don't know. Is he? I don't know. It's whatever. It's fine. Anywho, speaking of trouble that Ryan would get into, for those of you that don't know, my job involves putting people into jail. Well, Ryan didn't need to go on a ride-along to visit said jails. Oh, such a good story. Which time? I'll tell you this time. See, he did this all on his own free time. See, when he was 21, he does what every 21-year-old does. They go to the bar, and they get drunk. Oh, he was illegally drinking. Oh, okay. Good to know. Good to know. Add that to the charges. So anyhow, Ryan was being a good bro. You know, his friend was talking with a girl, and he was like, I'll walk home. I'm good. Well, he didn't. You know, he lived really close, but as you know, some of you heard last night, he's not very good at directions. Well, unfortunately for him, he couldn't see straight, so he didn't really know where he was going or what he was doing. Well, he got lost, and he ended up in someone's backyard, as we all do when we're wandering drunk. Well, safe to say, his mugshot is still to this day brings me so much joy. Oh, God. Making the Ehrenfeld name proud. You can Google that, by the way, if you want. I made t-shirts if you want. $20. They just weren't here in time, so. Okay. I switched up my speech a little, save the best story for last. Okay, so now Ryan was the older brother, right? So he was supposed to take care of me in Austin. Well, you know, sure. On occasion, you know, we would have to take care of him. Now, one time comes to mind specifically, and Ryan knows exactly what I'm talking about, because Ryan was home for college. I think it was his freshman year. Wasn't gone very long. I was a junior and Austin was a freshman. Never had a drop of liquor until then. That's what turned him astray. Well, Ryan, being the guy who knows all about drinking games now, came home to introduce Austin and me to some fun games. Luckily for us, Mom was out of town that weekend. It's a good time. So we drank, we had some fun, Austin got drunk, of course. And I, being the good brother, helped Austin upstairs to his bed, you know, tucked him in, the baby. I think he was still small at that point, Ryan. I think so, yeah, he was easy to lift, so. Anywho, so I go back downstairs to get him a cold glass of water because I know he's gonna need it. And what do I see downstairs? I see the lights on. That's really strange, like why is the light on? We all went upstairs. Well, I didn't know Ryan actually got more drunk than Austin got. And the garage light and the door was open, so the only light in the house was in the garage. So when I peeked around that corner, now I've never seen Ryan naked before. So yeah, take a sip of this. Goddamn. Well, you can find me at the bar later, and I'll tell you. Oh, I'm leaving you like that. Well, let's just say that I'm very happy that Ryan is marrying Beth because she's a therapist, and I will get family discounts on that now. I've known Beth nearly as long. Obviously, I grew up with this little, maybe not so little guy. But I've been lucky enough to witness how Beth has influenced my brother, truly. Since they've been together, Ryan has become more of a cook, more responsible. As you know, a dog dad, as they like to refer to it. He's also stayed out of jail, so he's doing pretty good. Beth, my gosh. Safe to say Beth is worth keeping on. She's keeping him on track. So, Beth, but you do compliment him in the best of ways. Like, it's hard to describe to someone who doesn't see him on a daily, like, I wouldn't say daily basis anymore, but we still chat all the time. We see you at every major holiday, every major event, random parties whenever we decide to throw them. And it's amazing that how much you light up his world. I really do mean that. Now, there's one last story that I got to share as well. Now, whether you're meeting Ryan for the first time or you've known him forever, I always bring up this story. It involves dating. However, my gift to Ryan this year is to not tell that story. However, you can find me at the bar after, and I will tell you only accurate, not blown out of proportion details whatsoever. So, the last thing I want to say to this is, Beth, welcome to this crazy family of ours. Wish you both a lifetime of happiness, and cheers to the happy couple.